Hello everyone, my name is Yegor, and today I will give the webinar on the topic of a clean water industry. I personally believe that it's a very important topic nowadays, since a lot of countries and communities around the world are struggling to get the clean and fresh water. And as we know that the water is one of the most important matter for the life. So basically we can say that life starts with the clean water. So as an introduction, I would like to mention that water is covering around or even more than 75% of the Earth's surface. And the first life being came from the water, as we know from the science. But only 3% of this water is a fresh water. So basically the water which we can drink. And most of this water is locked in glaciers on policies. Also, oceans nowadays are strongly influenced by the climate through factors as temperature, salinity, and the currents. These currents transport heat, regulate the climate on the land, and distribute the nutrients across the ecosystems. That's why studying them is crucial for the predicting climate change and managing the natural resources. There are different types of the water which we classify. The first one is the natural water, which we can find in the lakes or seas or oceans, and the technical waters, which are already used in the industries as a nuclear power plant, for example, or some chemical industry, or which used in industry to cool down, for example, machinery and so on. That's why it's important to understand. Also, I believe it's a good idea to classify them on things which could be found in the water. So that's why it's important to separate them. In the natural or municipal water, we always can find some chemicals, oil and sand, biological trash and microplastics. So this is basically the water which the people use in the daily life. And the technical water is already mentioned. It also could be chemicals, and important to know that it could be chemicals in unknown concentration and the heavy metals. So that's why, for example, if industry use some water, when they want to get treat from this water, they have to pre-clean this first. So they are not allowed just to throw this away. And of course, the process of the cleaning will be discussed later during the presentation. So the global demand for the clean water is growing quickly as a result of the urbanization, growing of the population, industrialization, and the climate change. So as we know that, for example, some countries from the south or global south, let's put it this way, they're struggling to get the clean water in a decent amount. And also the population there mostly growing, so the demanding increase as well. So that's why this topic is important. I would like to show some cases. For example, the case how illegal mining on the Amazon River affects the local communities. Basically, what's going on? So the Brazil, it's and Amazon River is very rich with the gold, and people want to get this. So, but it's basically the jungles. So they cannot just drill the big holes there and extract this. They use the chemical way to do this. So they make a small mine with the small machinery or even manually. Then they pump in the mercury. The mercury reacts with the gold, and then they are able to take it away. Basically, they use the special ways to clean the gold from this mercury. But using all these methods is leading to the fact that a lot of the dangerous chemicals are going to the water. For example, this mercury, because the criminals doesn't care if someone will get poisoned about this. That's why, for example, it strongly affects the local communities, because where the big money the criminals also are going there. So that's why, for example, a lot of local communities there, like indigenous people who try to live their life near to the Amazon, they could be shooted by the criminals just because they want to take this land, because they need to take some gold from the mines and so on. As well, they got poisoned quite often because of the chemicals in the water, and biodiversity is also struggling because it's harmed by the chemicals. So this is the reason for the big problems there. But it happens not only in South America, it also happens in everywhere in Europe. For example, in Bulgaria, there is also the case as coal mining near Beli. So this is basically the village. And under this village, the geologists found the big amount of the coal. And basically, they want to get this resource from the land. But the people are living there, so they has to make people go out from their places where they were living probably for the generations. They have to make the big pit, like, because they use the open method, so a lot of the heavy machinery, a lot of dust, a lot of the toxic elements also are going out. And it's also important to understand that let's imagine that you have a land here, and you have the groundwater under the surface. So if you make the hole like this, can you see my cursor?
Yeah, we can see the illustration.
Okay. Okay, so basically when you make the big hole here, basically you damage these ways, how the water is going from one place to the another one. So that basically means that probably if water is going from left to the right, it's at some point it will not be able to go there anymore, because basically you just like cut the vein which water used to transfer from one place to the another place. So basically, if you have a river somewhere here, means that this river probably will have lack of the water because you just damage the channel underground, which were used by nature to transfer the water. And this is, could be the one of the reasons why the local communities could struggle and ecosystem could struggle because of the open pit mining methods. So important also to talk about the core sectors of the clean water. So the number of the fundamental industries make up the clean water sector, which collaborates to offer all encompassed water management solutions. This includes wastewater management, which entails treating spent water to reduce environmental impact and permit reuse water distribution, which guarantees the delivery of the clean water to homes, businesses, and industries, and water treatment, which concentrates on eliminating impurities to make water safe to use. So basically about this, we're gonna talk next. But first of all, I want you to play the Kahoot game with me, which I prepared special for you. So I'm starting now. Please use your phones to scan the QR code.
One second.
Yeah, I can make the QR code bigger if it's gonna help you.
It's loading. Just a few seconds and I will
All
be
right.
For some reason, it doesn't let me in. So if you can wait just a few seconds to
Yeah,
download the app.
yeah, all right. Make another try, and if it doesn't work, we just skip it. Okay, then maybe we can skip it because the recording time just 45 minutes, right?
I think it exceeds that.
Okay, so is it loading for you or not really?
It's still loading.
Okay,
Say
let's put
the nickname.
maybe 20 seconds, and if it doesn't, let's just skip and continue because it was just 1/3 of the presentation.
Yeah, it shows me this. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, so maybe we can move on.
Yeah, all right. So let's just skip it. So, all right. So we're gonna skip this part just to focus more on the presentation. So let me make the presentation again, presentation mode. All right, so let's finally talk about the exact way how the wastewater are cleaned. Mostly we're gonna focus on municipal water. So basically this is the water which people use, like households and so on. So we have a few steps. The first one is the mechanical filtration. Then we are going to the chemical treatment. Next one is the biological treatment. Sometimes they are combined, and sometimes the biological treatment is not necessary. It depends from country to country. Next is following as advanced or polishing treatment. And after the water reuse or sometimes discharge. Discharge in the case that if it was the technical water and the factory used them and it's dirty, so it's cleaned to make it clean enough so they allowed to discharge this to the common place. All right. So basically, what is the main idea of the mechanical filtration? First of all, we have, let's say, the big knives or big fork, where which one is grabbing the big parts. For example, some trash which people throw to the toilet or something like this. So the filtration just going. So the big particles are not able to go inside of the system, and we just separate we just sieve the big parts from the water. When this part becomes really dirty, we have a special fork which is just grabbing them up to the trash. So this is the first part of the mechanical filtration. So after this, we just get rid from the big parts of the dirt or trash in the water. So the next idea that we have to get rid from the sand or some smaller particles. So for this one, we use the special machine, like a grid chamber, so which help us to get rid from the sand by the spinning water inside. So that's how the big parts of the sands, they're just going away, and the amount of, and the water is continue to go up. So the next idea that we have to get rid from the oil, and sometimes it could be complicated to separate oil from the water. That's why we use another type of the machines. So basically, we make a water to move in this way. So that's how, because of the different properties, because of the different density, the oil separates with the water. So we can basically grab the water from the top and grab the oil from the top and the water, which basically just suck from the bottom, because the density of the water is higher than density of the oil. So the oil is going up and the water is going down. So after we done this, we put the water in a big chamber. So where we let it stay, and where we use the big, let's say, scratches, which is going on the up and going on the down in the same time, and trying to collect the rest of the particles, some smaller trash or something like this, because of the different density. So if the density is lower, basically it's going up. And if density is the higher than the water, any other trash or so on, it's going down. And we basically scratch from the top and from the bottom. But this requires some time. So we want them to settle. After we done with this, it's a time for the chemical filtration. And there are different types of the chemical filtration of the different additives which we use. The good example that we use some coagulants. So what's going on? We basically throw them in the water. They affect with the small particles in the water, and they go out as a precipitate. So a lot of small molecules just unite to the bigger particle, and it's just going down or going up, or it's much easier to separate anyway. So the trash basically unites, so we can get rid from this. Another important point is to kill the bacteria. All right, maybe we already made the clean water from the trash, from the sand, from the oil, from everything, but still it could be a lot of bacteria there. That's why we need the biological treatment, and there are different methods how we can kill the bacteria inside. The first way, it's ozonizing. Basically, we just pump the ozone inside of the water. So as you can see in this scheme, so the gas is pumped in this way, and for the most of the bacteria, this is very dangerous for them. So they are dying from this. Sometimes we use this method. Sometimes it's possible to use another method as an ultraviolet. Ultraviolet cannot kill the bacteria itself, but ultraviolet can damage their DNA. So for them, it's working as probably as a radiation for the humans. So it's damaged their DNA in this way, so they cannot make another bacteria. So they stop to increase their amount in the water. So it's basically is enough, because they start to die, they cannot reproduce themselves, and this is normally enough to do. So the method which we use normally depends from amount of water. For example, I believe that for the smaller amount of water, it's easier to use the lamps. But if you have a very huge amount of water, so depends from the water treatment plant. So we choose the better method. The next step could be advanced or polishing treatment. This is basically the most natural way we use to filter the water. We just let it go through the sand, through the some small stones, and in the end through the coil, so that the rest of the dirt or whatever it is there could be cleaned as well. For example, this system we use in house filters. So in some countries, the people has to clean the water before they drink this at their houses. So they use the house filters. Yeah, and this is the way how we clean this. After we do this, so basically we can already use this water or reuse and discharge this in the end. Yeah, so in the Bulgaria there are also few water treatments plants. The first one is the most famous and the biggest one is Kubratovo wastewater treatment plant. Which one is near Sofia, what is kind of logical since it's the capital and the biggest city. This wastewater treatment plants can treat around 500,000 cubic meters of water every day. Another one is located near to the Stara Zagora. This is the modern wastewater treatment plant. I believe this is the newest one in the whole country. And as well, I think it's worth to mention about the Elatsise mine treatment plant, which also located in the Bulgaria. Of course, it's sometimes not so easy for us to clean the water, and there are some reasons for this. So first of all, that if we just don't have enough water, we cannot provide enough clean water to the people. That's why sometimes it could be some problems like, for example, lack of infrastructure to produce the clean water. That's why in some countries, mostly in the poor countries, the people cannot drink the water from the taps. So it could be dangerous for their health. So there are not enough technologies, not enough investments in such a field. And that's why we have to focus on the distributing these technologies around the world, because this is first of all our health. And also there are a lot of new innovations in such things. First of all, we use the artificial intellect in the new ones, and another one it's just decentralizing of such a system, so that even the small communities around the world can allow themselves to have a clean water as well. So it's a kind of modulation of the system, like model systems, but still sometimes it's not so easy to do this and maintain this, because also normally we need a specialist for this. So that's why there are still a lot of things to develop there. As well, important to mention that the clean water sector has a big impact on environmental sustainability and economic progress. In the terms of economy, it supports sectors like agriculture and energy that rely on water supplies, while it's generating the jobs in a variety of fields such as engineering, manufacturing, and water resource management. Additionally, having access to clean water inhibits public health, lowers healthcare expenses, and increase the worker productivity. As a future trends with the developing of the new technologies like IoT, IE, and data analysis, we'll able to to provide the monitoring in real time, predicting the maintenance, and use the resources in the most efficient way. Because I will give you just one example, which sometimes happens in Germany and Europe. Like in in a fall, there are a lot of, it's like a rain season, and there are a lot of water is going from the sky to the city, and basically all this water from the rains is also going to the local wastewater treatment system, to the canalization, and sometimes the this wastewater treatment plant cannot manage to clean all this water at the same time. So the more water coming that like every day, so they basically have to store this water first in a big tanks. It's like enormous sizes of them, so uh, um, they can clean this water later. And basically, if we have the better forecast, for example, this will allow us to use the smaller storage systems, because we will be more informed about what is waiting us in the future, or at least in the next few days. So as a conclusion, I would like to mention that the clean water business is a very important sector that addresses one of the humanity's most serious issues: access to the safe and sustainable water resources. By combining sophisticated technologies, innovative solutions, and sustainable practices, the industry contributes significantly to public health, economic prosperity, and environmental protection. Despite obstacles such as water scarcity, outdated infrastructure, and pollution, the sector remains adaptable and innovative, paving the path for a more resilient future. So thank you very much for the listening. Please, if you have any questions or comments, follow this link to the Facebook, and also you can find me there. And again, thank you for your time and for your attention.
Thank you very much, Yegor. It was very nice presentation. I enjoyed it a lot. And what I really liked about it is the sequence. Like it was very rational. You started with introduction, you discussed some problems, and then you turned into the technologies and applications. Then you gave some examples like Bulgaria, and then you went to the challenges, which is most important thing, economy as well, environmental challenges as well, and eventually went to the future. So it was very nice presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you uh, for your opinion about this. Yeah, I'm happy to hear this.
Okay, so maybe there's something I can add, like
Mhm.
piece of information regarding the mining issues that you have discussed. There is very critical issue right now that's happening in Niger, a country located in Africa, different than Nigeria.
Mhm.
Okay. So there is a company called Orano, which is a French company, and they are mining uranium. One third of the uranium production from Niger lights, like one third of French lights are lighted by this uranium. But the main problem is there is zero consideration of the environment. Uh, like the way they treat these minerals, for example, the uranium, is not according to the code, you can say. Also, they were about to go further and to melt the uranium down inside the earth. So you can imagine how much poisonous is gonna happen inside the earth, right? Inside the soil, I mean. And you know, these mining operations also require water. So, for example, the groundwater of Niger is going to decrease. And Niger is a country that depends on, for example, livestock, cows, sheep, and so on. So when this water decreases, the agriculture disappears as well. So that's something that I wanted to share with, because I think mining operations are happening without any sort of monitoring, like everywhere, as we have said. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your comment. Yeah, I absolutely agree that it could be the huge problem for this country and for the people there. And it's very sad that a lot of companies nowadays, they doesn't really think about the future for the local communities. So they just came, they just took the resources, they left, and they doesn't care. And this is what I hope we could change in a short future.
Thank you.
All right, then with this comment, I believe we can finish the presentation. Thank you for the listening. Thanks everyone who gonna watch this later, and have a nice day. Bye bye.
By the, by the way, maybe you can share with us the Kahoot questions. I mean, we
Uh,
couldn't.
oh yeah, okay. I can show you the Kahoot questions for sure, and it's a good idea so that I could even probably explain them. So just let me check how I can do this alone at least, or maybe I just have to like edit. All right. So oh wait. Um, okay. All right. Let me check again. All right. So basically, the first question was what part of the Earth's surface is covered by water, and the right amount is 70, like 75%. So basically, uh, 2/3 of the world is covered by water. Another question was what share of the all water of the Earth is a fresh water? It's just 2.5% of the whole water. And this is what I believe is important to understand, that the human being, like the life being, normally they require just the fresh water, so not the any salted water. For the people cannot really drink the salted water from the sea, from the ocean, or and so on. So that's why they need a clean water. Um, so another important idea which I would like to mention by making this Kahoot, that the most amount of the fresh water is hidden in glaciers. So basically, if we want to extract this water, we have to somehow take them here and be able to collect this water. So that's why this question is here. Okay, this question, I didn't mention directly about this, but probably you know from your daily life that the chlorine is normally used in the pools to disinfect the water for the swimming, for example. And this has the strong smell and the specific taste. So we don't really use the ozone in such a way because the ozone is used in the industry, and the other chemicals, they are not really able to clean the water. So this is the question probably which everyone know from the school, which sea is the saltest in the world. So for sure, this is the Dead Sea. This one is the saltest in the world. Definitely not the Black, Red, or Caspian Sea. So it's salted so much that no fish can live there. And as I know, it's used as a resort for the people, but still it's dangerous to stay in such a water for a very long time. All right, the next question is which sector consumes the most water worldwide? It was very difficult to find the exact answer, in a sense that definitely households and industry use some water, but it's not such big amount of water. And it was the competition between the energy sector, because, for example, for the nuclear power plants, normally they use enormous amount of water, but still because there are a lot of agriculture in the world, like the farmers and so on. So they normally use the water, and basically they use this water, and this water disappear. So it's going under the ground, because for the energy sector, for example, for the nuclear power plants, they use the water. They then they just reuse it sometimes. That's why. So the question number 7 was which ocean is the largest in the sea, largest in the sea, and for sure this is the Pacific Ocean. So the rest one is not so big. So the Pacific Ocean, as much as I know, is bigger than three other ones. So which is the driest inhabited continent? And for sure, this is the Australia, in the sense that the life in Australia mostly concentrated near to the sea, and just in the middle of the continent, it's just a big desert. So that's why the Australia is the driest continent. So it's definitely not the Africa, not the Asia, not Antarctica, because no one really lives there. And the question number 9 is which country has the largest freshwater reserves in the lakes and rivers? And this is the Russia. The main reason of this just because they has the Baikal Lake, which is the biggest freshwater lake in the whole world. And the last question was which river is often considered the longest in the world. I also saw the different answers for this, but at least I found that the biggest river in the world it is the Amazon River, the longest river in the world. But also for sure that the Nile is a very big river, together with the Mississippi and Yangtze. So this was my questions, just for the make everyone have fun and so on, but it didn't work this time. So I hope it's gonna work another time.
Thank you very much. The questions were very helpful. I had no clue that Australia was the driest continent. And yeah, the agriculture that consumes more water than the energy sector of factories is also interesting fact that I didn't know about.
Yeah,
Thank
I mean, I'm happy to hear this. So yeah, then probably we can stop recording, right?
Yes.